Hey Tyers, Darren here, back with another fly tying tutorial. Today we're going to be tying the Anson Special Bucktail. This is an old pattern that comes from Streamer Fly Tying and Fishing by Joseph Bates Jr. And this pattern was designed by a gentleman named Mr. Anson Bell, who was a logger from Maine and New Hampshire. So this fly is popular for species of trout, particularly New England and New York State. It's an old pattern, but you know what they say, these old patterns still work because the modern trout haven't seen a lot of them. Anyways, I'm excited to share this fly with you, so let's have a look at the material list and get started. Get a fresh hook in the vise. Today I'm using a 4 extra long streamer hook. This is a Talon brand, and it is the TAST2224X, and it's a size 4. Alright, so first off, we're just going to use a black 6/0 thread. I'm going to tie on starting at the eye. I'm going to wrap back to the tip of the hook, trim that off. Alright, first we're going to tie in a piece of flat tinsel. We're going to use this to form a tag on the fly. And we're going to tie that with the gold side facing up. I'm going to tie that back to the bend, and then we'll tie this back. We're going to secure a little bit, and then as we wrap this, we should be silver side up. Alright, just a few wraps there. Come back. We'll secure that. Then I'm going to switch to a smaller, this is a number 14 flat mylar tinsel, and I'll do the same. Tie that in with the gold side facing out, and we'll just bind those tips down a little bit. I'm going to use a few fibers from a red hackle. You don't need too much, maybe almost an inch of a feather, I guess, should be enough. The dressing calls for a sparse tail, so that might even be a little bit too much, but I think that's, to my eye, I like that amount. And we'll tie that down to the tie-in point. So next, we're going to use a little bit of Peacock herl, and probably we'll need 2 bunches. So I'm going to take about 5 herls, and we'll bunch those up together. Trim the tips even, and we'll tie those in. And I'm going to wind my thread about to the halfway, a little bit past the halfway, I guess. And we're just going to wrap this peacock herl forward. And we'll tie that off. I'm going to grab another bunch. Probably need another 4 or 5. And we'll tie those in back to our tie-in point and forward. Then we'll wrap those. Now one thing you notice how fluffy this back section is compared to the front. I took the 2 different clumps from 2 different peacock feathers. As you can see, it's quite a bit of a difference. I probably should have used the same one, but anyways, this is going to be ribbed, so it's going to be less evident. So we're just going to wrap this silver side. We'll tie it off at the head. Make sure you pull that back so that it gets locked into place. Trim away the excess. Next I'm going to take a red hen hackle. Now these are a lot webbier than the rooster hackle, and they wrap nice for collars. I'm just going to strip away the fluff at the bottom there. And we're going to tie in at the head. And fold that feather back, lock it in place. Remove the tip. Just going to push our scissors along that feather edge, help fold it over. And then we're going to take a couple wraps. Make sure we get that stem locked in place. We'll spread these down a little bit and just sort of pull those fibers. Divide them on the top. And we'll pull those down. Next we're going to take a little bit of white bucktail. Just going to stick a small clip. And I'm going to just take out some of the longest fibers, and I'm just going to match them down a little bit. Try and even those tips up a little bit without having it. I don't want to stack it in a hair stacker. You don't want it to be too even. You want it to look kind of natural, and then it'll kind of taper itself. Looks pretty good. So I'm just going to measure that, and I'm going to clip it. Then we'll tie in a few fibers at a time. When I get those wings on top, I just give them a little wiggle with my thumb, help make sure that there's no spaces in between. Alright, next we're going to tie in a bit of barred wood duck. So we're just going to take a small slip, and I've got a left and a right, so you want to make sure that you use the feather that slopes back. So we're just going to take a small slip on each side. And we're going to do about 1/3 the wing length. So this is the shoulder on the fly. And then I'll do the other side. And then last we're going to do a jungle cock nail, which will be about 2/3 the length of the wood duck. If you don't have these wood duck feathers, you can use something like just a regular wood duck slip. Will work fine. Or you could even omit it, I think, without too much problem. Let that in place. Alright, let's clean that up. Just add a few thread wraps here to clean up the head. And if you don't have jungle cock, you can always put painted eyes on a fly like this. These bucktails are nice with eyes, painted eyes. So just use a small spot of white paint and then a black pupil in the center. Just a couple coats of head cement to seal it in. And there you go, the Anson Special Bucktail. Thanks for stopping by my fly tying channel and watching my tutorials. If you're new here and like this sort of thing, why not hit that subscribe button? I'd love to hear from you, so if you have anything to say, leave it in the comments below. Until next time, this is Darren saying, keep a hook in your vise. Cheers.